What's up everybody, welcome back to another episode of Hammer Down Ranks. All of my download festival specials are done and we're back to normal proceedings. And this time we're ranking one of my favourite bands ever, genuinely one of my top 10 or so bands of all time. It is post-hardcore band turned metalcore band Blessthefall. Formed in Pheonix, Arizona in 2004, Blessthefall have released 6 albums over the course of their career, and those are the records that we're going to be ranking today. The band was formed by Matt Trainer on drums, Jared Worth on bass and clean vocals, Miles Bergsma and Mike Frisby on guitars, and Andrew Barr on vocals and keyboards. Now, Craig Mabbitt joins the band shortly afterwards, and he ended up being, of course, the vocalist, and Andrew Barr moved solely onto the keys. Eric Lambert then joined the band, and they released a 3-track EP, which I have found impossible to locate the name of anywhere. I have tried looking for it, can't seem to find it. So to go through the top 6 albums, in number 6 it's 2007's His Last Walk, the debut EP from Blessthefall. So this was Craig Mabbitt's only album and it did pretty well. It sold 65,000 copies to date and it reached number 32 in the Heatseekers album charts, which for a debut record is not a bad position at all. During this album cycle, they toured with some of the scene's best at the time, bands like Escape the Fate, who at the time was fronted by Ronnie Radke, Dance Gavin Dance, and one of my personal favourites, Before Their Eyes. Before Their Eyes and their discography is going to be the next bands that we do a ranked video on, so stay tuned for that. A couple of good songs on the album. Pray, Rise Up, His Last Walk in particular are 3 pretty good songs. However, it is pretty apparent that this album is just below par for the rest of the stuff. As a debut, it is not bad at all, but about half the songs on there I'm just not really a fan of. And after this album cycle, all of the drama of Ronnie Radke and his prison sentence happened. So Ronnie Radke was in Escape the Fate, he went to prison and then ended up starting Falling in Reverse. Craig Mabbitt moved from Blessthefall to take over position in Escape the Fate, and Bo Bokum moved over from a band called Take the Crown into Blessthefall. Now, all 3 bands ended up doing much better with their new vocalists. Obviously, Falling in Reverse wasn't a thing before Ronnie Radke went to prison. Craig Mabbitt was way better in Escape the Fate, and Bo Bokum obviously way better in Blessthefall. The only band that didn't benefit from it is Take the Crown. Sorry, boys. So although His Last Walk isn't an album that I'm particularly excited by, it did pave the way for Escape the Fate, who ended up being far better without Ronnie Radke, by the way, and Bo became an awesome part of Blessthefall history. In number 5, 2015's To Those Left Behind. This album reached 26 in the Billboard 200 album charts, which is one of their best charting albums to date. And this record sees their coolest ever music video for the song Dead Air, which premiered at a Making Star Wars event. It is a Star Wars themed music video. It is super cool. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's all set in Tatooine style desert planets, motorbikes driving about in the sand. It is genuinely such a cool music video and a really, really great song as well. Now, even though the album charted pretty well, it didn't do for the bands what they hoped it would do. The music videos never really took off, and upon doing interviews in the lead up to album number 6, they made it very, very clear that the band almost broke up after this record, that they were slowly dying a death, nothing was really happening in the band, and the 5th album had certainly not gone the way they wanted it to after all of the effort that they put in. Now, I can sort of see why it isn't as good as the top 4 albums in this list. It is definitely below the other 4, but it's still a great record. The singles Walk on Water and Up in Flames are absolutely fantastic. Opening track Decayer is a beast, and I really like Oathbreaker as well. But it is just not as good as the later albums. There's a few songs on there that leave a lot to be desired, and are just not up to the same writing caliber. Moving on, in number 4, we've got 2011's Awakening. Now, this is where things get very, very difficult for me. All 4 albums here are absolutely spectacular. So by this point, Elliot Grunberg had replaced Mike Frisby as guitarist in the band. Elliot was from Before Their Eyes, again, a band I mentioned earlier on, who are going to be our next video on the channel. So this was Blessthefall at some of the height of their powers. They headlined the Fearless Friends tour with bands like Tonight Alive, The Word Alive, Motionless and White, and Chunk No Captain Chunk. So that's a mega, mega tour, and Blessthefall were at the helm of it. This is when they were really, really doing very, very well for themselves. This was their first album to get into the Billboard 200. It peaked at number 39 and has some mega tunes on it. Bottom Feeder, Bones Crew, Promised Ones, Don't Say Goodbye, The Rain, and of course 40 Days, which is a very beautiful love song, and I don't know if it coincides, but a year later, Bo Bokum married Canadian pop singer Lights, and so I imagine that probably has something to do with it. But overall, this album is absolutely outstanding, really, really great piece of work, and an incredibly consistent body of work. There are no songs on this album that I dislike. There are a couple that I don't think are quite as good as the top 3 albums, or otherwise this would be in the top 3 albums, obviously. But generally speaking, this record is absolutely awesome, and you must check it out. Okay, so before we get into the top 3, we're going to talk about my shirt of the day. This is one of the only long sleeves I own, and I've worn it in this video because we're talking about a metalcore band. However, it is the hottest day of the year so far. It's It's like 29 outside. I'm absolutely dying. Yes, okay, from a lot of places in the world, you're watching in 40 degrees. I understand that, but in England, this isn't a thing. Anyway, This Dying Hour, they're a metalcore band from a town called High Wycombe. They have this awesome text along the side here. In particular, you need to go check out the songs Cornered, Torchbearer, and Age of the Coward. Those are my top 3 songs from This Dying Hour. Now, This Dying Hour, they've been around the block. They've supported bands like Bleed From Within, Silosis, Bury Tomorrow, so they've done very, very well for themselves. However, they're just looking to get to that next level. They're doing some great tours this year. You should definitely get out and check them out. They're working a lot this year with bands like Locust, so make sure you get down to a This Dying Hour show. They're also playing the Hammerdown Winter Militia on the 7th of December, which is going to be an amazing show. So yeah, go and check out This Dying Hour. Okay, so now to the top 3 albums from Blessthefall, and in number 3, it's the final record, 2018's Hard Feelings. So as I mentioned earlier, after To Those Left Behind, the band tanked a little bit. They really struggled mentally to get themselves back into a place where they wanted to write again. The album hadn't gone as well as they hoped it would. However, Rise Records then signed the band, and that gave them a new lease of life, a little bit of extra belief that they still could do this, and boy did they deliver. This record got to number 38 in the Billboard 200 charts and features some of my favourite Blessthefall songs ever, in particular Wishful Sinking and Cutthroat, which are the singles from the record. But I also like some of the more melodic songs like Sleepless in Pheonix, Sakura Blues and Find Yourself. Those 3 songs, the choruses are absolutely huge. The band had some real revitalised energy for a little while after this record, but unfortunately towards the end of 2019 the socials had all gone quiet, and we're going to come back to what's happened since then at the end of the video. But overall, if you haven't listened to 2018's Hard Feelings, the only album with Rise Records, you need to get that in your ear holes. It's a stunning body of work and my 3rd favourite album from the band ever. But moving on, in number 2, we've got 2009's Witness. So this is the record for Blessthefall that really made them blow up and take off. So Bo Boken's first record with the band went really, really well. They signed to Fearless Records and got to work with Michael Elvis Basquiat for producing the record, who then went on to produce several albums of theirs later on in their career. And during this album cycle, they toured with so many of that post-hardcore scene's biggest and best bands at the time. Seosin, Norma Jean, Of Mice and Men, Silverstein, Enter Shikari, August Burns Red, so many bands. They had a real busy period here. This was also the last properly post-hardcore record from 2011 onwards. During the Awakening days, they went far more down a metalcore route. As far as I'm aware, this song didn't make the Billboard 200. I have had a look. I couldn't really find if this charted. It may have done. Let me know in the comments if it did. I couldn't find the info. This album is packed with some of the best Blessthefall songs ever, including Witness, Last One's Left, God Wears Gucci. One of my favourites, What's Left of Me. That song is brutal. Love that tune. 590. And arguably the most iconic song of Blessthefall's career, Hey Baby, Here's That Song You Wanted. Another fantastic love song, paved the way for 40 Days on the next record. Awesome tune. Proper post-hardcore love song. We love that stuff. That's a great tune. But it is not my favourite record from Blessthefall. My number 1 favourite album is 2013's Hollow Bodies. This is the first Blessthefall album that I got physically on CD. I love this album to bits. By this point, they'd really defined themselves as a proper metalcore band. That emo, fringe, hair, alternative, goth scene style had kind of evaporated off by this point. It's since made a return, but at the time it wasn't really going places. So the bands that made it out of that scene needed to evolve to survive, and Blessthefall went down a heavier metalcore route. The album kicks off with Exodus, which is a 5.5 minute beast of a song, super heavy, super fast, awesome build up. It's a great song. I personally believe the heaviest songs they ever wrote were on this album, especially songs like Carry On, feat August Burns Red's Jake Lurs, Exodus, Hollow Bodies, all absolutely brutal songs. You Wear a Crown But You're No King is an awesome tune as well. And then at the end of the album, 2 mature and beautiful songs, The Sound of Starting Over and of course Open Water, which is featuring Bo's wife Lights. That is arguably the most progressive song Blessthefall ever put together. It is a massive 7-minute epic which ends in a huge climax. Wonderful piece of work, great tune, definitely go and listen to that. Now this isn't just my favourite record from Blessthefall, it was also their highest charting album, so it was clearly other people's favourites as well. It reached 15 in the Billboard Album 200 charts and sold just shy of 22,000 copies in its first week, which for a post-hardcore band from the MySpace era, that's not bad going really. So that concludes my list of my top 6 Blessthefall albums, but the question, where are they now? Well, 5 years they had off. They didn't release any music for all of that time. And in early 2020, all of the band members had taken off Blessthefall as their place of work on their social medias, and it looked like the band were dead. But then, almost out of nowhere, they started announcing tours and a new single which dropped in May 2023, Wake the Dead, which is as good as anything they've done before. Belter of a song. However, that was over a year ago, and you'd have thought if there was an album cycle coming, well, you would have had more singles before the end of last year, and the album would definitely be here by now. So that leaves the question, are Blessthefall gone? Are they on hiatus again? Or are they really taking the time and bringing us a really special 7th album? Obviously, I hope it's the last one. If any of my videos are to inspire somebody to continue, it would be Blessthefall. I love this band. I have seen them several times. I saw them at a place called Talking Heads in Southampton probably about 10 years ago, which was basically like someone's house in a residential area. Really weird venue. It's closed down now, which is sad. Blessthefall were awesome, and I would love more than anything for them to come back. So if this video makes it to any of the guys in the band, which it won't, continue. We want to see album number 7. Make this video invalid, please. I'd be absolutely okay with that. But anyway, that is the end of our video for today, so make sure you check out This Dying Hour, listen to any Blessthefall records that you haven't done before, and please subscribe to the channel. The download videos have really helped to give us a boost, but we're looking to grow this channel as much as humanly possible, so if you have not, please like and subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. Peace out, we'll see you in the next video.